listening? Like, what's really deep listening? Well, first of all, I ask that you not barrage the speaker with questions. Now, many of you are trained therapists, and you're trained question askers. And I understand that, and I appreciate it. And in therapy, it's a good technique. For now, suspend it. So, because questioning often gives direction to the speaker, and I want you to let the speaker take their own directioning. And we often ask questions to satisfy our own curiosity, not in a therapeutic mode, but in a kind of a social mode. Somebody's saying something, and we say, oh yeah, well, where exactly in Colorado mountains did you go on your ski trip? It's just because we're curious. That's no problem in a social situation, but in a coaching situation, don't ask questions. Many questions. Hardly any questions. And don't piggyback. Piggybacking is that technique, which we all do, and it's to, when somebody comes up and says, oh, I had a great time in the Rocky Mountains skiing, and we say, oh, I love to ski too, and I went skiing last weekend up at Terry Peak. That's adding to, piggybacking on what the other person said. Now, again, socially, no problem. In coaching, I recommend that you avoid it, and also avoid stealing the topic. Now, that's even more common. I know that when my mother died, and people would ask me about what's going on, and I said, well, it's been a tough time, and my mother recently died. Inevitably, people would say, oh, I know how hard death is. About 2 years ago, my sister died, and it took me forever to recover. Matter of fact, what happened was, and then they go on and tell me a 10-minute story about their sister dying. Now, even socially, that hurts. It's not absorbing the other person. It's stealing their topic. Now, there are people that when they listen, they constantly contradict. You know them. You'll go out and you'll say, beautiful weather. And they'll say, yeah, but it's windy. I mean, it's just their habit. You'll say, oh, I really like that movie. And they'll say, well, I didn't. Now, I know that that's just called expressing your opinion, which is fine. I mean, in social situations, it's fine to express one's opinion. It's just that some people have a habit of constantly, no matter what you say, contradicting. So I'm recommending a new style of listening, which is not questioning a lot, not piggybacking, stealing the topic, or contradicting. But what it is fully absorbing the other person and only asking questions if you're completely confused. If you're completely confused, then ask about it. But otherwise, just absorb and allow the other person in to the depths of your soul. Allow them in completely and fully. That's the kind of listening that I want you to demonstrate to each other in a minute. Absorb the person, whatever they have to say, down to the depths of your soul. And then say, what else? Listen to whatever they have to say, and then vacuum out whatever else is left. We were running the other day, and Richard talked to me about this analogy of vacuuming one's soul. As a listener, that's who you can be. You can be this giant vacuum, sucking out every remnant of what the person has to say and absorbing it into you. And then when you think they're all done, you say, well, thanks. What else? That's one of the many ways you can vacuum out some more. And completely absorb, completely take in the other, while constantly affirming. Now, I know some of you are going to question, well, how do I affirm if I don't like what they're saying? And we're going to get to that. This is not the last word about listening, but I want you to practice it, because I just think it's the most supreme gift that we can give to each other. This is a practice. It's a demonstration of complete receiving of the other. And again, I want to tell you where I'm having you practice this and demonstrate it. It's because I think it's the most powerful and important coaching technique. I'm starting with my best here. If you can master this skill that we're going to practice several times, I think you're well on your way. You're 80% there to being a great life coach. Most of you are watching this alone. And a few of you are watching this with other people. If you're watching it with other people, I recommend that you now take the time to practice listening. Practice this soulful listening, this deep listening. Even if you feel like you are already a great listener, practice improving. Practice moving up the scale.